Good morning. Hi. I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late. Today is the first live on Ask Me a Question, like Ask Me a Question. So if there's anything that that you've been wanting to get clarity on, relationships, career, business, just anything with your body, etc., etc., what we're doing is you can literally ask me a question. There's a form, so we'll share it. We've also shared it on my link. There's a form, you fill it up, you ask me a question, and what we'll do is energetically I'll just see which one is the most relevant and do my best to give you some of the tools that I have used in the last 6-7 years that has given me space in that area. Okay, so this is my I hope this is something that I wanted to contribute to people out there and give them a sense of how these how the Access Consciousness tools work. So hi, Earthlings is here, so that's Komal. Hey, Nita is here, Simran's collection is here. Okay, so so we announced this last week, and there were a few questions that were sent, and I thought I was going to pick up just one question, but as I read the question, there's like this there's a thread, like there's this similarity that's running across all of them. Even if they're asking for relationships, even if you're asking for I'm single and I don't know what to do about a relationship, or I want a luxurious life, etc., etc., or I'd like to change this with my body. There's like there amongst all of the questions that were sent to me, there was a thread, there was this similarity. Okay, now some of these questions are so big, like a 15-minute live is not going to give you everything. But what I wanted to do today is, for those of you who asked and for those of you who are looking for more clarity, say for example, if you're looking for more, you've been asking for a relationship to show up and it's not showing up, and you've been asking for more money and it's not showing up, and you've been asking for like a job or something that you truly desire and it is just not showing up. What this shows me is not that what I have learned in the last few years is, if something is not showing up, it's not because something is against you, or it's mainly because somewhere we are not clear about what it is that we're actually asking for, right? So you say you want a relationship, but then you don't even know what you mean by when you ask for a relationship. Okay, you say you want a different job or a career, but you don't even know what it actually means. And you think it means another job, but somewhere deep down, that's not what you require. So what is missing in all of these things is a lack of clarity. Okay, so a lack of clarity. You're not clear about what it is that you're actually asking for. And believe me, this is where I was 6-7 years back. I was a dentist, and even though everything seemed fine, I wasn't happy, and I was looking for something, I was asking for something. There was something I was aware of, but I wasn't clear. And I didn't know what to do next. So one of the first things that I did, and which has showed up, everything that I did has shown up, okay? So one of the first things that I did to get more clarity was to make a list. Okay, so what would I like my life to be like in the next 5 years? Okay, so those guys who asked me a question, there was a specific question about relationship, like I've been asking for a relationship and I'm single, blah, blah, blah. I mean, sorry, I don't mean to dismiss you. What I'm trying to say is, if you're asking for a relationship, you need to get clear about what it is that you're actually asking for. Okay, so make a list. So what I did was 6 years back, I made a list about what would I like my life to be like in the next 5 years. What do I truly desire? Like, if there were no limitations, if there was nothing stopping you, if there was, if you knew you could have everything, just for just take 15 minutes out today. Forget about what is impossible, like I don't have the money yet, or my family doesn't support me, or this, that. Forget about all of those things and just take those 15 minutes. Sit and make this list. What would I like my life to be like in the next 5 years? Okay? And this is what I did. I listed down what would I actually like in relationships. Okay? And for me, it was more of the nurturing energies. Okay? Like someone who has your back. Nurturing. What is it? Like, put it down, okay? Like, really put it down. Sometimes you're not clear. Put it down, write it down, okay? Then I was also asking for more travel. I was asking for making money from things that I truly enjoy. I was asking for things that change every day. So I do multiple things, okay? But I wrote this down without any, this is not possible, okay? So here's your step one, and you have to do this, okay? Because some of the questions you guys asked were so big, like a 15-minute thing is not enough. But what I would suggest, and this is where I started, make a list. What would I like my life to be like in the next 5 years? And then put relationships in one column. Put what kind of like job or career or business that you would like. And put the elements in, for my job and business is like, I like to travel, I like to meet interesting people, I like to change the world, I like to be there with the earth, I like to create something that truly sustains the planet 1,000 years from now. Now these don't have to be your asks, but put this down and notice that I'm not putting down, I want this job and this company and this. Why? Because that is actually based on conclusions and not what I truly desire. Because what you truly desire will always show up very differently. So if you're asking for a relationship and you have these, and this is what you truly desire. Oh, I would like someone who's nurturing, who has my back, who gives me space to do what I would like to do, who allows me to make my money and grow, etc., etc., etc. And then you're asking for this, but then you're like, this person that looks a certain way, he has to have these things. So now what you're doing is you have an awareness of what you like, but now you're trying to project it on this one image that you have in your head of how the relationship has to be. Okay, so the same thing with your job, with your body. You're actually asking for something, and then you have this image which is mainly a projection and an expectation and a judgment, and not what you truly desire. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, let me break it down more. First, make a list of what would I like my life to be like in the next 5 years. Okay, and make different columns: relationships, body, money, career, business. It can go in one, travel, etc., etc. Okay, make it and write it down. What would you truly desire? And give yourself 15 minutes of a space where everything is possible. Don't worry about your family, money, lack of money. Don't worry about it right now. That's what you're asking for. So don't decide today what you want and do not want on the lack that you already sense today, because that is exactly what you'll create again. Do you realize what I'm saying? Okay? So take 15 minutes out, make this list from total possibility. Okay? So in this way, you will get clear about what you want from relationships. You'll get clear about what you want from money, etc., 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 etc. And the other thing that I was talking about is, when you're making this list, don't put, like, not from an image of what you think it should look like, because none of these things are going to show up the way what you truly desire never shows up the way you think it's going to look. Okay, so for example, you're asking for a relationship and you sort of have this image of how this person looks and should be, and etc. and etc. And so now what you'll do is, instead of being present with the energy of what you like, you'll start projecting these things on someone who fits that image but isn't the energy of what you would like. Okay, so that's what I'm trying. So same thing with body, same thing with your career. Don't try and conjure up this image, because it's never going to show up the way you think it's going to show up. Okay, your relationship is not going to show up the way you think it's going to show up. However, you getting clear about the energies will give you something that truly nurtures you and expands you and actually gifts your future. Okay, so this is what I'm saying is relevant to everything, but from the questions I'm now going to focus on the relationship aspect. Okay, so think about what would you like your life to be like in the next 5 years. I mean, don't think about it, get the energy, get the sense of it. Now I'm giving you an example of how to make this list for relationships. What would you truly desire? What I asked was for someone who really has my back, for people who really has my back. Okay, Agnes, yes, if you don't desire a man who smokes, should I? Yeah, put it, because that is something that is true for you. Okay, like if okay, cool. So thank you, Agnes, for bringing that up. So what you would do is make a list of things that you truly desire, and also make a list of you know this doesn't work for you. Okay, just make it, because what's going to happen is, for example, if Agnes actually finds this relationship but this person smokes, there's going to be a lot of judgment. Okay, there's going to be a lot of projection, there's going to be a lot of expectation, and you're going to start separating from each other. So if it's a no, like this doesn't work, and you have no leeway in your world to sort of work around it, well, be honest to yourself, be pragmatic about these things, because the worst thing you can do is say, I will change this person, I will change him, he will become better, or he will become monogamous after we do this. No, those are expectations, those are projections, those are actually judgments, rather than seeing people for who they are. Okay, so everywhere you're also trying to sort of, you have this thing and you're projecting all these ideals on the person that is with you rather than being present with you. It's not going to create a relationship that actually works for you. You have to be able to move on from there. Okay, so now, hi there, hello, a P clicks, 1986. So what I'm trying to get to you is, like, really look at this. Okay, now make a list of what would I like my life to be like in the next 5 years. Now, first thing, what I am focusing on in today's life is relationships. What would I like? What would I not like? Okay, I would like someone who has my back. I'd like someone who's nurturing. I'd like someone who gives me my space to do what I have to. I'd like someone who loves to travel as much as I do, because that's what I want to do. I'd like someone who's good in bed. What is it that you truly desire? If this is what you desire, you need to put this down, because if you're not clear, the universe cannot give you what you're asking for. It's going to be as confused as you are. Okay, so get this. Second column is something that you don't like. Like, for example, Agnes said, I don't desire a man who smokes. Okay, cool. That's something that's true for you. Put it down. I don't want someone who's, I don't know, like something. You have to be clear. Okay, like I want someone who's monogamous. Okay, cool. And that's also something that has a lot of judgment, and there's a lot of other things there, and this can go into like a much bigger conversation. But to begin with, you need to do these two things. Okay, you have to do this so that you start getting clear. Okay, now once you start getting clear, what is going to happen is, there's so many different directions I want to go, but what is the most relevant right now? So as you start getting clear, you're going to get all sorts of relationships that match this. Okay, now, and and be open to receiving all sorts of relationships. This is not just about your significant other, but what this will give you is more of a is more receiving from different kinds of people, and what it'll give you is more and more clarity about what you truly desire. Okay, so make this list, and do not make this list from an image. Okay, don't visualize this. Okay, the reason why I'm specifically saying that is the way we women usually, and I don't know about men, I think even it's true for men, but what we tend to do is we have this image of a man, this tall hunk, but if he turns and you find that, and you want to project all these things that you truly desire on this image, okay, and it doesn't work because this is not matching the energy. Okay, so what I'm asking you to do when you make this list specifically is don't visualize, have the energy, get in touch with what you would truly desire. Okay, that's the first step. That's what I did 5 years back, and have all sorts of relationships that actually that are actually supportive and that actually like nurture and not take and not judge. Okay, so make this list. I hope this helps, but really start here, and maybe next week start here. Those of y'all who start here may have specific questions about this, which I can address in the next live. But start here. Okay, start here. Make that list. What would I like my life to be like in the next 5 years? Notice, I didn't say what would I like my life to look like. I said what would I like my life to be like. Okay, make that list. And I mentioned relationships today, but you can literally make that list for your body, for your career, for money, for travel, whatever it is. Make that list, because this way you're getting clear of the energies you truly desire. Because if something is not showing up in your life and you say, I've been asking, but it doesn't show up, it's because either you're not clear or you don't really desire that. Okay? For example, if you're not married as yet, all of the people who say, I want to get married, and then when truth, do you really want to get married? You said, oh, no, not really. What do you truly desire? Oh, I like this. So here's what. So if something you're asking for is not showing up, it's because you're not energetically clear about it, or you don't really want it. Okay? It's usually one of these two things. And third is you have too many points of views that tell you what you're asking for is not possible. Okay? So it's usually these three things. So you want to get clear. You want to create a space today, 15 minutes of total possibility, and then hopefully then I can take this forward. And I know some of y'all will make it. And then I can take it forward in the next live on Thursday. I did this. These are the steps that led me to being happy. Okay? So if you want to be happy, do this list. If you don't want to be happy, don't do this list. Kidding. It's your choice. I hope this helps. Is there any other questions or anything that you want answered right now? No? Okay, cool. So, make a list. Step 1. For everything you're asking for. And the list is from 5 years now. Not tomorrow, not 6 months, because we've sort of solidified it too much. You want to go to a place where it's still a lot of space. You want to go 5 years and beyond. Okay? So you've not sort of defined it and solidified it and made it really like so you want to go 5 years ahead. At least. You can also go 10 years ahead, 100 years ahead, 500 years ahead. It actually becomes easier to come up with what you truly desire when you expand the timeline. Okay? But you want to do this 5 years from now, and you want to become clear about what you would like and what you would not like, because there are certain things that don't work for you, and that's cool. How does it get better than that? Cool. Thank you so much. I hope this helped. Okay? specific or in general, what I mean is, okay, what I mean is get the energies, don't define it. Like, when you're looking to make a career change or like a relationship change, don't define it. Like, the way I would define it is, this person has to be say you're in a relationship with somebody, or you're looking, you like somebody, etc., and you have all these energies, but they don't really energetically match that, and they're not congruent with it. So the way you would try to make it specific is by saying this person has to be all of this. That's you being a little mean on yourself and them. Okay, so don't define it, don't conjure up an image of it, but get more clear on the energies. Okay, which is why I said what you would truly desire is someone who has your back. Okay, that's an energy. What is it to have your back? Okay, someone who nurtures you. Do you nurture yourself? Why am I asking? Okay, cool, maybe I should answer this. Okay, let me get to this as well. So what will happen is, when I started making this thing for relationships, the nurturing energies of nurturance, okay, what is that? And what I had to do is I had to start being that for myself, because only when I started being that for myself, I was at this space of recognizing who actually is that for me. But if I am not being those energies of what I am desiring out of a relationship for myself, I don't know how to recognize it even when someone is. And most of us have seen relationships that don't really work. And most of us don't have very good examples of what great relationships are. What does it mean when two people actually have? Most of us don't have that. So if you're not being it for you, you don't know how to recognize it. And what we've seen is actually people being mean to each other and projecting and expecting, and you think that is nurturance. And then you get into a very similar dynamic which is not very kind to you, and it was never kind to you. Okay? So I had to learn to be that for me, to get awareness of what it is that I'm actually asking for. Okay? So the reason I'm making this list and putting things like, for relationships, like nurturing relationships, having my back, people who give me space, who don't judge me, like who don't keep making me wrong, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm asking for. And how do I recognize what these energies are? Because unfortunately, it sounds obvious, right? You want, and where people that don't make you wrong, but the thing is, 90% of the relationships out there is this, where people are making each other wrong and expecting and projecting and etc., and it's not really kind. So you don't have a good reference point to create. You're actually using reference points that don't work to create your relationships. Okay, so become aware of these energies, because what's going to happen is, as you become aware of what you truly desire in relationships, you will realize that you're going to have to be that for yourself, so that you recognize it, and so that you put that demand out in the universe. This is what works for me. Okay, so yes, don't define it, but become more clear and expand the timeline from 5 years and beyond. And I promise you will have what you desire and greater. Okay? And don't visualize it. No images right now. Okay? I hope this helps. And I hope it made sense, because I tend to go in 100 different directions in my head, and I'm going like everywhere. So to put it into like a nice space to deliver it to you all so that you get it is sometimes tricky for me, but well, I hope I did a good job. And do this, okay? It works. And I will see you guys again on Thursday. Maybe maybe as an extension of today's question. We'll see. I'll wait for your questions. I'll wait for more clarity from you guys, and we'll see what else is possible. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.